The general theme of The White Lotus, or at least its first 3 seasons, is what dangers arise when our primary instincts take over. And the focus of the first season can be summarized as, if we cannot govern our primary urges, they drive us to a downfall. The first part of this analysis detailed the situation between the wife and the husband, and how it resembles to the situation of Shane and Rachel. Also, how the daughter repeats her mother's pattern relating to her friend Paula and also her younger brother. This part analyzes other characters. And there is also the question, how is the war story related to Rachel's situation? Alongside Rachel, the other main character is the manager. Lacking genuine self-confidence, he feels he has to watch and control the guests as if they were children.
You have to treat these people like sensitive children. They always say it's about the money, but it's not. It's not even about the room. They just need to feel seen.
He failed to notice Lenny's pregnancy, and the birth spun out of his control. He experienced it as stress and as a challenge to his competence. To cover his earlier mistake, the room's double booking, he tries dumb tricks, then starts warring with Shane. Shane is a child of wealth, who's used to and demands that everything be exactly as he wants. It's one of his basic drives, and he doesn't notice that it robs him of the ability to enjoy the moment. Worse, his refusal to adapt constantly turns people against him, souring his life.
This has happened before. Like, people have been coming for me my whole life.
Shane can't stop fighting and slices further down the slope of his instincts. The manager, sober for 5 years, turns to the drugs that fell into his lap to cope with the stress. 2 loose cannons ultimately led to tragedy. The manager dies, and Shane has to live with the fact that he killed a man. Rachel's comfort-seeking instincts whisper that she should stay with her wealthy husband and live a luxurious life. Shane's mother, who breezes in and then vanishes, embodies this lifestyle. For her, money is everything. It guarantees comfort, and nothing else matters.
It's all about the money. The money, money, money.
Money, money, money.
Money, 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 money. And if you have money, then that's what you bring to the table. You don't need to work.
For Rachel, however, this looks like a life pointlessly squandered. The heiress to a vast fortune is a peculiar figure. She is like a giant baby. She never had to grow up and never particularly wanted to, as everything fell into her lap. She never had to take responsibility for anything.
Not as weird as whatever happened to baby Jane over here.
What?
Yeah, well, she's coming. She's coming out to the table.
Hey.
Hi.
Years from now, Rachel too might in some way end up in possession of her husband's wealth. In the heiress's situation, we can see that in the absence of real problems, she has drifted farther and farther from life and reality, becoming increasingly alien to it and increasingly weightless as a person. The onion layers of her character are neurosis, then hysteria, then a touch of craziness. And the core of the onion is just an empty shell, an alcoholic lunatic.
You know, is he gonna like the next layer? You know, and I get all afraid, like, you know, how much do I want to show him? You know, is he gonna be repulsed or is he gonna be alarmed? And at the core of the onion, Belinda, is just a straight up alcoholic lunatic.
She has been lucky all her life. Here too, a man literally knocks on her door, but he seeks her company only for the nights, only for some fun.
It was fun last night. And we can have fun again.
She is, in effect, no one, just the sum of her inherited wealth. With Belinda, the masseurs at the spa deceive the pool of money. The heiress suggests Belinda should start her own business, which she would fund. Belinda gets carried away with the idea and begins catering to the woman's hysterics. Belinda would have done anything to get money from the heiress, even if it meant a dependent relationship. It's worth noting that Belinda never recommends confronting problems, but rather an esoteric relief. The inner child, instead of behaving as an adult.
The child in me is alive and fresh as the day I was born.
It's immaterial because the child in me is as fresh as the day it was born.
Listening to instincts instead of examining the unusual situation.
You know, just show him the core of the onion.
I think you just have to trust your instincts, you know?
At the end of the series, Rachel turns to Belinda, who listens as Rachel questions the comfortable life and the world of luxury, while Belinda has just lost the chance to make a Faustian bargain.
Could I live with myself if I made this Faustian bargain where I just ended up being someone's arm candy for the rest of my life?
Belinda would say yes to such a bargain and would serve the heiress's desires in hopes of changing her life. No wonder she can't give any advice to Rachel.
You want my advice? I'm all out.
Belinda places all her hopes in the heiress. The offered investment could radically turn Belinda's fate for the better. However, the heiress would do this mainly to chain Belinda to her side. The woman herself admits she uses her money to attach people to her. What else could they find in her?
I latch on to somebody, and then I use my money to control them. And see, right now, the last thing I need in my life is another transactional relationship. You know, it's not healthy for me, you know?
When the man appears like a new toy, the woman immediately breaks her promise. Thus, all of Belinda's plans and hopes are thrown in the trash. There are some details that are more fully developed in the next season. Here, Greg appears under dubious circumstances. He primarily seeks the woman's company only for the evening and for some fun. He is ill. From time to time, he has a coughing fit, but often this comes in handy so he can be alone again. So here too the question arises of how lasting a relationship based fundamentally on sex can be. On the other hand, we learned earlier that sharks live in the bay.
Did you see the little sharks?
Nope. Didn't see much.
No? We'll go first thing in the morning, take a little bread, and they'll swim right up to you. It's like a Disney movie. Slightly scary Disney movie.
The story here shows Greg almost like a shark. Is he on a hunt looking for easy prey? Perhaps the third main protagonist is the son, the younger brother. At first, he flees his sisters and her friends' tyranny into video games, into virtuality, which also means watching porn. After a night on the beach, however, the tide carries away his Nintendo and his phone. It's important that the story portrays him as sensitive to nature, able to see beauty in it. After this digital detox, he joins the local paddling club. He escapes from his family and finally rows off into the sunset. We examined the main characters and events. We now have enough ammunition to review in the next part how the war story is related to Rachel's situation and what is the message of this season.